In this video, I'll be explaining the following. How to acquire Allied Resistance contract scrolls and what they entail, the rewards from them and how to use the rewards, how to maximize your efficiency while farming them, as well as some tips and tricks that I've learned personally through farming them pretty heavily. Allied Resistance contract scrolls are mini-quests related to an area, similar to standard resistance contracts in that they usually involve killing X mob or interacting with Y item. Green scrolls are based around an area in the world, such as these Pure Light Tower or Kanina Village, whereas the blue scrolls are based in one of 4 level 50 areas in the following open world dungeons: Slayus Abyss 5th and 6th floor, the Shadowed Crypt, the Sanctum of Desire, and Saradoma Island. Each contract will reward you with the following: 10,000 Solient, 37 contract coins, 5 activity points, 1 Abyss currency, 1 pouch related to the area it was farmed and tied to that specific contract, and 4 rare ore. The pouch, when opened, has a chance to drop any item that is dropped from mobs when farming that specific dungeon with abyssal tokens. For instance, with the Saradoma Island, when you open this pouch, you'll see you have a pretty small chance for some of these items, but a pretty good chance to acquire the blue items that will drop from mobs there, as well as a smattering of growth stones at different quantities, but being honest, most of the time you seem to get Stellarite element. At the end of the video, I'll be showing a 20 pouch opening that I recorded earlier. The Abyss currency can be stacked up and crafted into the following chests. I'll take you over to Stoneguard Castle. So the Abyss currency can be used at 2 different vendors. The first vendor you can use it at is the accessories crafting, where you'll be able to craft the Tyrant chest, the Desire chest, the Shadow chest, and the Abyss chest. Now these are again items that drop from within that specific dungeon, but this is basically allowing you to do 40 contracts of any dungeon and pick. You can select one of these items that best fits your build from this list. Or what a lot of people don't know about is there's another vendor where you can spend these chests, being the armor crafting vendor, where if you go to this precious epic selection chest, Abyss, if you have 80 and 10 abyssal aggregate, you're able to craft these following items, which are from a mix, are basically from all of those 4 level 50 areas, but these are much rarer items. For instance, this is the Abyss for most tank builds. This is, I know, Abyss for a lot of DPS builds. So this is a way that you can essentially guarantee an item drop by stacking up these currencies. Just to note though, you will also need abyssal aggregates, which drop from mobs in those dungeons pretty rarely, and can also be bought and sold on the auction house, which generally they're quite expensive because this is the item that is used to make the PvP trinket, which I can explain at some point if people still aren't sure what that is and how important it can be. Now, on a quick note, if you don't need anything from these chests, specifically gear-wise, but you're still building up these tokens, this is one of the best ways to farm Lucent, especially with this 40 chest over here. If you look at, I would say, this chest here, the Abyss chest, the traits for both the Clasp of the Conqueror and Etched Alabaster Band usually go for anywhere, if you get a good trait that is, they can go anywhere 600 to 1000 Lucent. So this is essentially a guaranteed way of farming Lucent. If you build up 40, you can open the chest and you might get lucky. If you see here on my sell history, I recently did that. I got an etched alabaster band with max health, so I was able to trait extract that and quickly throw it on the market. And earlier on in my game time, I did the exact same thing with Clasp of the Conqueror when it was a lot more expensive. So this is a really good way to build up some Lucent just by playing the game. And I'd highly recommend, if you don't have any gear that you need from the Abyss currency, it's something to consider. The last note I'll bring up about the Abyss currency is that it can also be acquired from open world chests on the island during nighttime. Now, this is a hotly contested area due to the fact that you can get these Abyss currency as well as abyssal and dimensional contract tokens, allowing you to do more of the dungeon than your daily limits. Now, as the island is so hotly contested and the chests spawn at certain locations at certain times, I'd be more than willing to give my tutorial and try and draw up a rough map for you guys if that would help. So please let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. It's probably my favorite content to do at the moment, and has been, you know, you bring 2 groups of 6, you can control both the inside and the outside depending on your server. Some servers it's a lot more contested than others, and it's a great way to get small scale PvP as well as essentially more chances to earn Lucent. So in regards to maximizing your efficiency, as you can see, when you open any contract, you've got 99 rerolls in order to choose a task that's best suited to the area you're farming. Now, what I mean by that is there's some areas near the bosses, for instance, where a lot of a certain mob will spawn. Some of the tasks involve going to a certain area in the dungeon and interacting with something. So essentially, you're going to want to choose tasks that best suit the area you're currently farming. So in this footage you're seeing here, we were controlling the 2 plateaus in Sanctum of Desire near the boss. So taking any task with the boss, whatever he's called, the Sauromancer or whatever, and the interaction that was specifically the Shadow Altar, I believe it was, that was fine. One thing we also noted was that Pyromancers and Aeromancers barely spawned here, so we would always re-roll the contracts with Pyromancer or Aeromancer as a specific kill, and continue to do the contracts where the mob spawned in great frequencies, so we'd be able to just knock them out, and every 10 minutes the boss would spawn. So if that was part of the contract, we knew, okay, we just need to go tag the boss, and we've ticked off one of the tasks. If you find an area and continually choose the correct contract, in most of these dungeons, you can knock out 20 in an hour if you've got a good group. Or if you don't have a good group, or you're lacking on abyssal currency, one thing leading into the tips and tricks, and this is the main one that I tend to do a lot, is if I have a contract where it involves killing a mob or looting X item from a mob, i.e. weapon parts or books, you don't need to have the red tag of that mob. It can be a grey tagged mob that will give loot to another party, as long as you go up and also attack it once. Any loot that drops related to your quest will drop, and any credit towards the kill on your quest you will gain. So it's a great way of just going in and letting peons farm for you. If you're just chilling out and watching a movie, you go in, run around, tag all the mobs, and voila. Other than that, my last main tip and trick is try and stack up all quests at once to be extremely similar, i.e. try and get 4 that require a boss kill at once, try and get 4 that require the same mobs to be killed at once. You're just going to speed up your time, use less currency farming it so that you can spend your currency farming somewhere that has better drops. For instance, at the moment, Slayer's Abyss has the best standard drops, but it's worth doing these contracts whenever you get them. And yeah, other than that, thank you guys very, very much for watching. As previously mentioned in the video, there's plenty of other ideas that I've had, but if you guys want them, please let me know. And yeah, other than that, subscribe, check me out on Twitch, and good gaming. Good luck.